Hey everybody. Today and tomorrow we are just going to practice converting between fractions, decimals, and percents. And a lot of times when we're working on these conversions, you'll see them as a table that needs to be completed. And before we get to the table, let's just review what we worked on yesterday. So, to change a fraction to a decimal, we did numerator divided by denominator. To change a decimal to a percent, we multiplied by 100. To change a percent to a decimal, we divided by 100. And to change a decimal to a fraction, we would read the decimal aloud. We write as a fraction what we heard ourselves say, and then we're ready to simplify to lowest terms. So let's look at this table. As a reminder, if I want to convert a fraction to a decimal, how do I do that? It's numerator divided by denominator. Once I have my decimal, how do I change a decimal to a percent? You can look at your notes, but what I do to change it to a percent is I multiply by 100. So you'll do the same thing here. To turn the fraction to a decimal, I do numerator divided by denominator. So it would be 5 divided by 8, and that would give me my decimal. To change from a decimal to a percent, I'm going to multiply by 100. All right, let's look down here. So we know that to change a decimal to a percent, we already wrote that down. So this is another place where you will simply multiply by 100 again. But for this 0.31, you'll also need to write that as a fraction. How do I do that? So you can go back to your notes and say, how do I change a decimal to a fraction? I change a decimal to a fraction by reading it aloud. I write what I hear myself say, but as a fraction, and then I'm ready to simplify to lowest terms. So for each of these, that's what I'll be doing. How about over here? I've got some percents. I've got 5% and 18%. How do I change a percent back to a decimal? Do you remember? I divide by 100. So in these arrows in each case show you that if you start with a percent at the beginning of the arrow and you're moving in that direction to convert it to a decimal, you're dividing by 100. Here, to change a decimal to a percent, a decimal to a percent, I am multiplying by 100. So you definitely want to keep your notes handy. And I would, if I were you, I would go ahead and just copy this whole table. And you are going to want to work slowly and fill in all of the blank spaces on the table. Mrs. Kira and I are 100% available to help you. So please check in if you need a hand. Take care, kids.